di na masundan. Gamit ako, Ginoo, luwasa ang uban. Unta ako na lang, di na masundan. Gamit ako, Ginoo, luwasa ang uban. Dungga o Dios, andam ko magantos, kiningdalan sa imong ngalan, sa ko ang matapos. Dungga o Dios, akong pamugos, ako andam sa imong ngalan, sa ako ang matapos. Di na mapugtan ang kahayag dulom na, mauna ning kapalaran. Kung kini imong pagbuot, dawaton ko sa imong ngalan. Untain hinalam, di na masundan. Gamit ako, o Ginoo, luwasa ang uban. Unta ako na lang, di na masundan. Gamit ako, o Ginoo, luwasa ang uban. Dungga o Dios, andam ko mag-antos, kiningdalan sa imong ngalan, sa ako ang matapos. Dungga o Dios, akong pamugos, ako andam sa imong ngalan, sa ako ang matapos. Dungga o Dios, andam ko mag-antos, kiningdalan sa imong ngalan, sa ako ang matapos. Dungga o Dios, akong pamugos, ako andam sa imong ngalan, sa ako ang matapos. Untain hinalang.
Bayang magiliw, pera sa silanganan, alam ng puso, sa dibdib mo'y buhay. Lupang hinirang, duyan ka ng magiting, sa manlulupig, di ka pasisingil. Sa dagat at bundok, sa simuya, sa langit ng bagha, may dilagang tula at awit sa paglayang minamahal. Ang kislap ng matawat mo'y tagumpay na nagniningin, ang bituin at araw niyang kailan pa may di magdidilim. Lupa ng araw ng wala di pagsinta, buhay langit sa piling mo. Ang iligaya ng pag may mga api, ang mamatay ng dahil sa'yo.
Hello everyone, and we are live, and you are tuned in for the celebration of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons 2020. I am Prosecutor Pong, and I will be your host for this event. Joining me is my partner in crime, May. May?
Hi Pong. Hi everyone. I am Prosecutor May, and I'm H from H, hosting from home. Welcome to this year's celebration of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, or what we call the WIDAT. This is the first ever virtual celebration of the WIDAT, brought to you by the Yakat 11 Network, and COVID-19 pandemic.
How are you, May?
I'm fine, Pong. How are you?
You are so near yet so far. The beauty of technology.
Yes, yes. I
And-
miss you.
And we are also informing everyone that we are streaming live at Davao City Disaster Radio Facebook page.
Yes.
So to officially open our celebration, our first group of performers is composed of children ranging from ages 4 to 18 years of age, and they're all from Davao City. This group has gained local and international prominence through its regular shows here and concert tour abroad. Their repertoire includes selected Filipino Broadway and pop songs. We should be part of this group, May.
Yes, youth. No, we're a part of the youth. So what a talented bunch of children. It is also said that by joining this group, these children are veered away from the possibility that they are led astray by peer pressure and vices like drugs and etc. And the group also aims to discover, develop, and promote excellent performances and alleviate social indifference by promoting social awareness through charity work.
So without further ado, let us all welcome the Mindanao's pride, ambassador for goodwill, peace, and unity, the Song Spell.
Song Spell.
The sexual exploitation of children is sadly not a new phenomenon. It has existed for many centuries, has victimized children of any age from all countries, and has been committed by offenders of all backgrounds from around the world. Technological advancement have changed the ways through which children are easily sexually exploited. Online child sexual exploitation continues to grow exponentially, with hotlines from around the world reporting a consistent and continual increase in number of cases every year.
Millions of girls and boys are being used in prostitution. Images of child sexual abuse, child pornography, trafficking, and other forms of sexual exploitation. Sadly, these children often become either abused and exploited adolescents and adults, or even abusers and exploitators themselves.
Children deserve nothing less. We deserve to live in a safe world where everyone seeks to protect us in any way they can. We encourage everyone to continue to seek out ways and work together to make the cyberspace and this world a better and safer place for us children, the hope of tomorrow.
There comes a time when we heed a certain call, when the world must come together as one.
There are people dying, and it's time to lend a hand to life, the greatest gift of all.
We can't go on pretending day by day that someone somewhere will soon make a change.
We are all a part of God's great big family,
And the truth, love is all we need.
We are the world, we are the children, we are the ones who make a brighter day, so let's start giving.
There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives.
It's true, we'll make a better day, just you and me.
Bells sound in your heart, so they know that someone cares, and their lives will
best believe there's no way we can fall.
Let us realize, oh, that change will only come
when we stand together as one, as one. We are the world. We are the children. We are the children. We are the ones who make a brighter day. So let's start giving. Let's start giving. There's a choice we're making. We're saving our own lives. It's true, we'll make a better day. Just you and me. It's true, we'll make a better day. Just you and me. It's true, we'll make a better day. Just you and me.
Gagaling ng mga batang ito, no? Oh, gagaling. Paano kayo maging... Oh, so we're back! We're back, May. So you are tuned in to the WIDA 2020 celebration. So ang gagaling ng mga bata. During the break, we were just talking, May and I, about how talented these children are. So that was really a touching and heartwarming performance by Songspell, May.
Yes, and we are thinking about joining in. Ano kaya ang age bracket yun nila po, no? Kasali
Pwede pa
kaya
yata tayo. Pwede pa tayo mag-audition. Papasa pa
Yes.
mga itsura natin.
Oo nga. So let us thank the Songspell kids for that very inspiring song, We Are the World. Now, more than ever, it is during this time of pandemic that we should remind everyone that we should help protect one another and save each other whenever we can.
Yes, such talented kids, like I said earlier, May. So thank you to Koy Sevilla for allowing the kids' performance to be aired this afternoon for this event. So for the information of our live audience, Songspell accepts new members all year round. So if you want to enroll your children, please call 0923-162-5472, or for inquiries, visit Songspell Philippines Incorporated on Facebook. So, partner, let's get the ball rolling. So that
Yes.
song we have just heard a while ago, that is a sweet reminder why we are here today, celebrating the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. But, partner, what
Yes.
really is trafficking in persons? Ito ba yung traffic sa CM Recto or MacArthur Highway? So, can you enlighten our live audience what really is trafficking in persons?
Oo nga, no? Kasi baka they would think that it is traffic violations or whatever ba. But, you know, whenever we are asked, no, as prosecutors, we tend to be very technical in defining the human trafficking as in the law. But to put it bluntly, trafficking in persons or human trafficking is selling human persons or pagbebenta ng tao, or in the vernacular, pagbaligya og tao. But better, partner, if we just give them examples of what is a human trafficking case.
So,
Oo.
pwedeng could be a young lady who was tricked by a recruiter into believing that she will be working as a waitress or perhaps a cashier in a restaurant, but was actually or will actually be offered to male customers as a prostitute in a bar. So this is one example of a form of trafficking, a sex trafficking or prostitution.
Oh. Another example, partner, is minsan naman it's a young man who was told that he will be working at a factory abroad or maybe as a clerk in a company. But when he arrives there abroad, he was forced to work 24/7, no, without salary or very small salary, not enough food, and working unholy, with bad working conditions.
So
ang tawag naman doon is the labor trafficking.
Yes, when someone is being forced to work against his will, di ba?
Yes.
So, pwede rin pong maging biktima ng trafficking ang isang bata na who is being befriended by a pedophile, then being lured by offer of money or cell phone or any material things but the child will actually be exploited, sexually exploited, diba? So this is also another form of sex trafficking, but sex trafficking of a child.
Yes, sexual exploitation naman yun. Kung merong sexual exploitation, there is also online sexual exploitation. An example is when a young child is forced to undress or do lascivious acts in front of a web camera para the customer or the whoever who watches the show, no, the live show of the child, will send money over the internet or maybe through their bank accounts. Ang tawag naman doon is online sexual exploitation of children, or what we call
as OSEC. O kaya nga, if napansin ninyo na ang hashtag for this event is hashtag end human trafficking and end OSEC. OSEC or online sexual exploitation of children. Okay. Every year, thousands of men, women, and children fall into the hands of traffickers in their own countries and abroad. Almost every country in the world is affected by trafficking, whether as a country of origin, transit, or destination for victims.
And it is for this reason that the United Nations General Assembly proclaimed today, July 30, as the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, or what we call the WIDAT. It is established in order to raise awareness of the plight of human trafficking victims and promote and protect their rights.
Yes, and in fact, the theme for this year's celebration of the World Day Against Trafficking, or what we call as WIDAT, is Lihok Komunidad, Human Trafficking ug OSEC Undangon. Okay, again, Lihok Komunidad, Human Trafficking ug OSEC Undangon. Mao na atong theme for this year's celebration.
Yes, so I guess, partner, this pretty much gives everyone a perspective why, despite this COVID-19 pandemic and all these community quarantines that we are under, the Interagency Council Against Trafficking in Persons, or IACAT 11 and IACAT 11 Network, are still commemorating this global event. So walang pandemic.
Walang pandemic.
Yes.
Yan lang din ang beauty and advantage ng technology, because even we are in the midst of this pandemic, we can still continue our campaign against trafficking in person. Partner, na-mention mo kanina, IACAT 11, IACAT 11 Network, or Regional IACAT Network. So, for the benefit of our live audience, sino ba itong Regional IACAT or IACAT 11 Network or Interagency Council Against Trafficking in Persons 11 Network? Well, for the information of everyone, we are an interagency network of government agencies, local government units, and non-government association, all geared towards fighting human trafficking, either by catching traffickers, bringing them in court, or bringing them to court, rather, fa-file natin ang kaso, or taking care of the victims, and capacity building, educating people about human trafficking and how can it be prevented. So in short, itong IACAT 11 Network, we are the anti-tip warriors.
Yes, that's why we are doing what we are doing today. We are online, trying to tell as many people as we can through our Facebook Live, and all those who are sharing our Face Live event today, so that we could reach people and try to tell them about human trafficking and how to prevent it. So, can we start our program officially?
Go, partner! Let's get the ball rolling.
Yes, so to officially kick off our program, let us welcome from the Department of Social Welfare and Development, Region 11, their Assistant Regional Director for Operations, Ma'am Merlinda A. Paragama.
To the dynamic members of Interagency Council Against Human Trafficking ONCE, partners, colleagues, distinguished guests, a pleasant day to all. Allow me to express my gratitude to all of you for gracing to this momentous event to commemorate the World Day Against Human Trafficking with the theme Lihok Komunidad, Human Trafficking ug OSEC Undang. This year's theme aims to raise awareness of the human trafficking situation in the Philippines, to highlight the gains, as well as reinforce the alliances and partnership among government agencies, civil society, and the international community in the fight against human trafficking. Human trafficking, dubbed as the modern-day slavery, continues to be a crime that exploits women, children, and men for various purposes, including forced labor and sex. The International Labor Organization, or ILO, has a report that an estimated 21 million people are victims of forced labor and sexual exploitation globally. At the regional level, the Interagency Council Against Trafficking Region 11 has recorded 918 victim survivors of human trafficking from 2011 to the first quarter of 2020. This is how serious is the trafficking phenomenon in our area of jurisdiction. With this commemoration, IACAT 11 maximizes various platforms to increase awareness and establish support from various stakeholders. Today, as we launch the photo essay competition in human trafficking, we firmly believe that this is a breakthrough of IACAT 11 in the attainment of pushing the youth sector and the whole public as an ambassador of change. IACAT 11 is ought to move as one, converge, and reinforce each other's endeavor to win the battle against human trafficking and online sexual exploitation on children. Let me end my remarks with this famous quote of Pope Francis: "Human trafficking is a scourge, a crime against the whole of humanity. It is time to join forces and work together to free the victims and to eradicate this crime that affects all of us, from individual families and to the worldwide community." On behalf of the SWD and IACAT 11 family, a pleasant welcome and have a rewarding day ahead of us.
Thank you very much, Mom Merlinda. And you are still tuned in live to the observance of WIDA 2020 and human trafficking and OSEC. At this juncture, to give us the rationale of today's celebration, let us all welcome in our cyber hall the co-chairperson of our IACAT 11, the indefatigable Regional Prosecutor Janet Grace B. Dalisay Fabrero.
Honorable Melardo I. Guevara, Secretary of Justice, Honorable Rolando Joselito D. Bautista, Secretary of Social Work and Development, fellow public servants, valued stakeholders, ladies and gentlemen, malipayong hapon sa ating tanan. It is the time of the year once more that the world celebrates our continued and cohesive fight against human trafficking and all forms of modern-day slavery. But why celebrate? Because we have a lot to be thankful for the past years. Although our fight against human trafficking is far from over, still, I could say, we are winning the fight against it. With all our concerted efforts, we are slowly but surely bringing this modern-day menace into the light, away from the shadow where it lurks to victimize the most vulnerable sectors of the society. And the testament to this is our retention, or the Philippine government's retention, in tier number 1 category in the United States Department of State Global Index on Human Trafficking. One may ask why we have an upward trend of human trafficking cases in Region 11. Or one may wonder why Region 11 is in the forefront of the highest number of cases nationwide. The answer is simple. It is because we have a very strong advocacy campaign against human trafficking in our region. Why advocacy? Because it is through our advocacy campaigns that the people are now aware of trafficking and that they could now easily report it. Before, the concept of human trafficking is so vague, so ambiguous, that the public do not realize that it is already actually happening before their very own eyes and their very own front yard. But with our intensive awareness campaign, people now know what it is, and they could now report suspected cases to the proper authorities for rescue, intervention, and for prosecution. At present, it is established that in this digital age, no country, province, city, or municipality is safe from human trafficking. And sad to say, our women and children are the most vulnerable. Even though with our little victories, but because of lack of knowledge about the crime and about the red flag indicators of some sectors, many are still continually victimized and its commission remains to be underreported. That is why we could continue to actively and strongly campaign with an anti-TIP advocacy project which is universal and far-reaching. Music is said to be the universal language of mankind, is an effective tool in getting one's message across to one chosen audience, regardless of age, gender, and ethnicity. That is what we, as network members and as stakeholders, have in mind when we came up with the idea of holding a songwriting and music video making competition in 2017. We decided to include in the competition the making of music video to accompany the song to make final product more relevant, more powerful, and more relatable to the public. The launching of the album of the entries in 2017 is the final push needed to spread our important message to entire country. Likewise, with the surge of digital technology and the advent of social media, photography as a means of capturing what is happening around the world can also be a powerful tool in conveying our message in the continuing campaign against human trafficking. The images that will be depicted in the photo essay, when artistically done, we believe will serve as an effective medium. With the rise of social media as an instrument of communication, marketing, and community engagement, we are hoping that this project will reach and benefit a wider audience, even those from outside the region or the country. Let us continue to be strong and active advocates against human trafficking so that one day we could all proudly say that we have finally won the battle against human trafficking, and that we have provided a better and safer world to our children. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Ma'am Janet. And you are still tuned in live to the observance of WIDA 2020 and Human Trafficking and OSEC. And we are also streaming live at Davao City Disaster Radio Facebook page. Partner?
Yes, partner. Before we proceed, we would like to inform everybody that this this activity has two parts. So first part, which we can see over FB Live, is the program where we will launch the music video album of the Yakat Onse Network. And next is the introduction of the photo essay contest.
Yes, that was also mentioned by Ma'am Janet during her speech, no? And the second part, that's why after the first part, I would like to request all our audience to not to log out and wait for the second part, because the second part is equally important. It will be an open forum where there will be distinguished members of the panel who will take all the questions that you will be posting in our comment section. So yes, partner?
Yes, and we will be announcing the list of panelists later. So that's why all those who are greeting over the FB Live, please continue typing, but this time you can also type in your questions.
Yes, for your questions, you type your name, the agency or group where you belong, and your questions. Then our technical team will be collating all your questions, and it will be taken up during the open forum on the second part of our program. Okay,
Yes.
partner, so I think we now have 1 million viewers. No, ilan na ba, ma'am? 175. So keep it going. Wow. Spread the word, spread the link. So 107. I think it's about time that we acknowledge our online viewers, partner, no? First and foremost, we have to acknowledge DOJ and the prosecutors of Region 11 who are tuning in right now. And Ma'am Janet, Chief Prosecutor Nestor Ledesma, hi, I'm here, sir. Nakaubi po ako.
Ako din, sir. And also, I saw Provincial Prosecutor Tess Rector earlier and all other prosecutors and staff of OCP Davao. We have Davao del Norte and Tagum also, I saw. We cannot keep up with the comments kasi ang dami-dami.
Yes, and we also have viewers from Philippine Ports Authority, Toril Police Station, WCPD, RAT-F from Region 8.
Yes, we have from Office of the City Prosecutor of Igacos, also the City Prosecutor of Panabo, and we have Dole 11.
We have audience from Cagayan City, Isabela. I think this is Ruby.
Wow.
Hi, Ruby. RPO 11, DSWD Region 11, OPP Davao del Norte.
And we have the UPTIP, your Team Brave partner.
Yes, mga kasamahan ko po yan, kapwang anti-trafficking warriors from all over the Philippines. They are prosecutors from different parts of the country who are also warriors against trafficking in person. Hello, Team Brave. Global Impact, of course.
Yes. Ex-Atlo, we have also the Provincial Government of Davao de Oro. Hello. We have Regional Major Seminary of Mindanao.
Wow. Hello, Father.
And we have Office of the Provincial Prosecutor of Davao de Oro. Ikaw naman, partner.
Okay, we have here the very active and dynamic IACAT Executive Director, Prosecutor Jinky Dedumo. Hello, kapatid.
Hi.
Hi, kapatid. CMO IGDD. Child Alert Mindanao is also here joining us this afternoon. Ateneo Migration Center.
We have RAT F13. Wow, our co-warriors in our fight against human trafficking. We have people watching from NCR, all the way from NCR. We have from Region 9 and Region 7. Wow.
Yes, partner, I noticed, before we continue, I noticed that you are wearing blue and so am I. Why? What's this? Yes. Is it this blue? This is blue, but lighter shade of blue.
Yes,
but why are we wearing blue? Why are we all wearing blue? What is the significance of the color blue in our commemoration of WeDat or the World Day Against Trafficking, partner?
Ako ba yun? Diba akala ko, wait lang.
The reason why we're wearing blue because it is called the Blue Heart Campaign. Diba? It is the global awareness raising initiative to fight human trafficking and its impact on society. So blue, kung yung World AIDS Day is red, ito namang WeDat, the commemoration of the World Day Against Trafficking is a Blue Heart Campaign. Okay.
Sabi mo, we also learned, no, this is very ironic din, partner, because kaya daw blue, kasi sometimes it represents yung pagiging blue, no, or sad of the traffic victims. And ironically also, it symbolizes the cold-heartedness of the traffickers themselves.
Yes, kasi diba, the blue color can also encourage us to continue the fight against trafficking, but also blue can represent the melancholy or the sadness of the victims. Kaya diba, when you're feeling blue, you're sad, and also the cold-heartedness of the perpetrators. So, partner, I guess audience are still coming in.
Nandito daw ang RAT-F6, Region 6 meron. We have Kaap Davao and the NBI at RAD.
Yes.
Wow.
Also, I think we've already acknowledged our partners from the ILG.
From
DSWD.
Talikala.
Yes,
Talikala.
from Talikala, from IBP. Yes.
Yes. We
From the
have
PNP.
OPP, Davao Oriental, also partner.
Okay. So, we are all tip warriors. And even in our own little way, in the advent of social media, we can all be tip warriors in our own little way by involving and campaigning and raising awareness against trafficking in persons. So again, we are if you have questions, please type in your questions together with your name, the agency where you belong, and your question. And we will tackle them during the second part of this program. And again, partner, we are tuned in live at the Davao City Disaster Radio Facebook page. Okay.
Yes, and I believe that a lot of people watching are also sharing our Facebook Live. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Everyone who are watching and sharing our video.
Yes.
Now, to motivate us further, partner, in our combat against trafficking in persons, let us now hear the words of inspiration from the Undersecretary of the Department of Justice. No, she is the USEC Undersecretary in charge of the IACAT and also our lovely boss. So please give a warm virtual applause for our Undersecretary, Emmeline Aglipay Villar.
Good afternoon, my fellow advocates. Today, the Philippines, together with the global community, is commemorating the World Day Against Trafficking as a means to raise awareness of the situation of victims of human trafficking and for the promotion of their rights. This is the 7th year that we are commemorating the World Day Against Trafficking since the United Nations General Assembly passed the resolution declaring July 30 as the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons in 2013. This year, however, we face new challenges in our evolving fight against trafficking in persons. The COVID-19 pandemic has heightened the existing vulnerabilities of marginalized sectors who are already in precarious situations to begin with. Thousands of overseas Filipino workers who have lost their jobs may now resort to illegal channels to secure employment abroad. Fishers on board vessels who were engaging in illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing are now even more exploited as they are forced to remain at sea for much longer periods of time due to port restrictions brought about by health considerations. While on board, they have no means to seek help, and their rights to humane conditions of work and to adequate pay are violated. Women domestic workers are forced to stay in their employer's home 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, without any days off, and to work for longer hours because of the community quarantine. And children who were in danger of being abused and exploited online are even now more vulnerable as the lockdown has forced them to remain with the facilitators of their abuse. At the same time, the demand for child sexual exploitation material has grown due to the increased online presence of sexual predators who are now forced to stay home. The Interagency Council Against Trafficking has responded with greater force through more efficient interagency coordination by engaging with the local government units to identify the victims and conduct rescue operations, by strengthening our partnership with NGOs to provide immediate aid to the victims, and by intensifying our online operations and advocacy campaign. In today's virtual commemoration of the 2020 World Day Against Trafficking, the Interagency Council Against Trafficking Region 11 Network is launching the photo essay contest and the music video album as part of their continued effort to engage the public's active participation to raise awareness about the evils of trafficking. This is a strategic move as the landscape of trafficking in our country is evolving as more and more children are becoming victims of trafficking. Based on Philippine data compiled by the Interagency Council Against Trafficking, since a decade ago, there has been a 94.44% increase in the number of child victims. and there has been an overwhelming increase of 1,267% of cases of online sexual exploitation of children. Even the recent 2020 Global Trafficking in Persons report says that the tremendous increase in the incidence of online sexual exploitation has been noted since 10 years ago. Now that much of the public's activities are conducted online, so has the commission of the crime of trafficking migrated to an online platform. Having this photo essay and music video contest on trafficking in persons will be able to target those who are most vulnerable at this time, the children. And this is done through a medium that appeals to them the most. To the organizers of this virtual campaign, the IACAT 11 Network, thank you for your continued and tireless efforts. Your compendium of best practices in this fight, from interagency coordination and partnership to a number of rescued victims and successful investigation and prosecution of trafficking in persons cases, has served as a standard for all the other regional networks to emulate. It has also provided inspiration to the national IACAT. In fact, your network through the Regional Anti-Trafficking Task Force 11 has one of the highest success rates in the Philippines, with 89% conviction rate over the total number of decided trafficking persons cases. This significant contribution has helped the Philippines retain its Tier 1 ranking for 5 years in a row in the recently released annual Global Trafficking in Persons report. You deserve a round of applause. I know that just by the fact that you're willing to risk your lives by becoming prosecutors and part of this advocacy, that you are willing to spend your own money and devote your weekends and free time to ensuring that the victims are located and are safe, that there are more noble causes that fuel your passion to see to it that justice is served. I know this because you're all here today, celebrating and commemorating WDAT with me. On the World Day Against Trafficking, we all signify our commitment again to this formidable challenge. As such, we do not only recognize you as experts and specialist prosecutors, but we also consider you as advocates. As prosecutors, you have a role to play as advocates. Advocates that do not only work in getting the target number of operations and convictions, but advocates that ensure that the victims are protected and safeguarded as they journey through the criminal justice process towards the goal of finally achieving justice for themselves. Advocates that will guarantee that those who are most vulnerable are saved and liberated from the clutches of modern slavery. Advocates who continue day in and day out with a task at hand, with the knowledge that each case you investigate and prosecute, you're actually saving not just one life, but an entire generation of Filipinos. Thank you, and a pleasant afternoon to you all.
Vibe talaga masyado. Oh, yeah. We're back. We're back. So hi. Well, we were just talking, May and I, during the when the video was played, that Yusek Aglipay Villar really exudes a very positive vibe. Kaya with a warrior like that, mas masarap magtrabaho, 'di ba?
Correct.
Okay. Yeah. So there are more viewers coming in. Let us acknowledge our dear viewers who have just tuned in. We have viewers from NBI Anti-Human Trafficking Group Division, and also from the Eastern Mindanao Command of the Armed Forces of the Philippines. Hi, thank you for tuning in. Talikala Foundation, and from U.S. Department of Justice, Ma'am Gia Monte Alto. Who else, partner?
We have from Lawig, Bubay. We have Davao International Airport Police Station. Can I greet my aunt, Judge Virginia Ropa? She's watching. Hello po. Hi, Taj. We have a student from UP Cebu, and we have the Regional Anti-Trafficking Task Force 10, Region 10.
Yes,
have,
and
ikaw naman,
Regional Anti-Trafficking Task Force, yes, 10. You've already mentioned that. Police Station 11. And also, happy birthday to Gabby Flores. It's her birthday yesterday. Was it yesterday? Yes. And to Kath Abrigana from Global Impact, happy birthday. Your birthday is very significant because it is on the day of the commemoration of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. So partner, in 2014, the Iakat Onse network inked a deal with a taxi cab operator which allowed the network to show anti-trafficking in persons video infomercials in its 500 taxi cabs for free for a span of 6 months. After a year, the said taxi operator offered to continue providing free airtime for the network but requested for new video infomercials to show. Libre din kaya yung pamasahe nung time na piniplay yung ating infomercial, partner?
Sana, no? Sana. And since we were not able to find new short video clips, video infomercials, kasi medyo demanding si operator, although it is for a good cause, no? The network decided to conduct a video infomercial contest. So tayo yung nag-adjust.
Yes.
The winning video that will be shown today, now, after this, bagged the first place in the contest.
It was already 5 years ago when the video infomercial was shot, but continues to be relevant, most especially during this time of the current pandemic.
Yes, technological advancements have changed the ways through which children are sexually exploited. Kaya nga may online child sexual exploitation. It continues to grow exponentially, with hotlines around the world reporting a consistent and continual increase in number of cases every year. So dumadami siya, partner.
Yes. And the video, which will be shown in a short while, which is entitled Benta Bata, effectively conveys what online sexual exploitation of children is all about. So here it is, Benta Bata.
BTR.
Yan ang nanay ko. Sabi ni nanay, maganda raw ako pag nag-makeup. Mapula ang labi at may makukulay na kuko. Lalong-lalo na kapag suot ko yung mataas na sandal. At higit sa lahat, kapag maiksi ang damit na susuotin ko. Hindi ko alam kung bakit. Pero sabi ng mga kaibigan niyang lalaki, maganda raw. Pero, iba na pala ang gagawin ko.
All right, you are still tuned in live to the commemoration of the WeDot 2020 and Human Trafficking and OSEC. And we are also streaming live at Davao City Disaster Radio Facebook page. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen, the winning video, Benta Bata. So it is amazing, partner. It is amazing, partner, that the creators of that video are youth themselves, like us.
Yes, ang dami kong gustong gawin ng mga batang ito. It's so nice, no, that video, kasi very short, very simple, and yet it conveys a very strong message.
Yes, kung biro-biro nga is impactful. impactful daw siya. Impactful. But before we continue, partner, let us again acknowledge our online audience who have just tuned in. Fiscal Ging Lumanta from Cebu. Hi, ma'am. I missed you. Darlene Pajarito from ASEAN.
Hi, Ma'am Darlene. We have the PWC, Philippine Women's College, and we have CWC and MSWD of Bacolod. Ang dami.
So thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Okay.
Now, partner, music is said to be the universal language of mankind. It is an effective tool in getting our message across to our chosen audience, regardless of age, gender, and ethnicity. That is why Yakat 11 Network came up with the idea of holding a songwriting and music video making competition way back in 2017.
Yes, I think you also took part in the deliberation of those entries, right? Partner?
Yes, tayo.
Yes.
Tayong dalawa.
And today, we are going to launch the Yakat 11 Network album, which is a compilation of all the entries during the said competition. And in fact, the video Dunga O Dios, which was played as our invocation earlier, was one of the winning entry during that competition. Partner.
Ngayon, prayer na siya.
Yes.
Yes, partner.
Yes, yung Dunga O Dios, di ba? It's a prayer at the same time a campaign against human trafficking. Okay.
Yes.
And partner, of course, it will be a disservice if we will not acknowledge the creator of the beautiful artistic cover of the album. Diba?
Ipapakita nga may partner, no, ang album after this.
Yes, ipapakita. Sino ba itong gumawa ng ating album cover na napakaganda, partner?
Itago na lang natin siya sa pangalang Assistant Regional Prosecutor Ritzel Rabor Polinar.
Oo, kailangan daw talaga natin i-acknowledge siya na siya ang gumawa ng painting. But it's really a very beautiful painting. Like all of the creation of Ritzel are really beautiful, diba?
Yes,
and you should see her in person. She is more beautiful than the paintings that she does.
And she was also the one who spearheaded the mural painting activity, which the Yakat 11 Network had last 2016. So partner, if you pass by, ano ba yan? CM Recto ba yan, partner?
Yes.
Mental hospital, yun talaga, no other, description.
Yeah, those murals are still existing right now in the Great Wall of the former mental hospital. If you go to that crossing, going to Gaisano Mall and Chinese School, you will notice those beautiful mural paintings that are still existing right now.
Yes. So partner, mabalik tayo sa ating usapan, no, kasi nalihis tayo ng konti. So we are talking about the music videos and the winning entries, and also we are talking about the album of the Yakat 11 Network. So without much further ado, let us all watch the clips of the top 12 entries of the music video contest, which are all part of the Yakat 11 Network music album. Roll VTR.
Roll VTR.
Sama-sama sa awit ng pag-asa, babangon, ahon, mabibigyan solusyon, manalig, kumapit, sisikat rin ang araw at hilom, bawat sugat at sakit.
Tunga o Diyos, andam ko mag-antos, kining dalan sa imong ngalan, sa ako ang matapos. Tunga o Diyos, akong pamugos, ako andam
magmasid. Ang may tenga ay makinig. Masdan natin na pakinggan ang panaghoy at pag-iyak ng kawawang nilalang.
Di marinig ang tinig ng naikubli ng kaluluwang nakatali, nakagapos ng mistulang dilim sa liwanag ng gabi. Alipin kung tawagin, pinagbibili.
This is the song of the people who believe in worth and dignity of everybody treated equally. Come and join us, fight with us. Who will start to voice out, who'll start the love, compassion, and love that save these people straight away, away from their arms. Let your voice be heard and your days be felt.
Huwag mag-opi at huwag maging biktima sa mga taong sadyang halangang bituka. Karapatang pantao'y dapat palagahan, pagkapantay-pantay sa lahat ay simula.
Silutan sa sala, nawa ko buhataw, ako damaw, ako tuyo, away, sudlanan akong pagmahay, sa pagtuon na akong pamilya
Still we'll sit and we'll watch, 'cause there's nothing wrong. Leave and move on, 'cause we can't really see what we can't believe. So we'll leave it to you to change your mind. Stories are just lies.
Ngayon na matuldukan ang paghihirap na kay saklap. Ngayon na wala nang mang-aalila, kung wala nang maaalila. Ngayon na wala nang mang-aalila, kung wala nang maaalila. Ngayon na.
Tatak mo, gabayan niyo po ako. Ano ang aking gagawin? Iligtas niyo po ako. Kayo na lamang ang tanging pag-asa ko. Nais kong matupad mga pangarap ko.
And you are tuned in live to the WIDA 2020 and Human Trafficking and OSEC. And again, we are streaming live at the Davao City Disaster Radio Facebook Live page. So we would like to acknowledge also our some of our online viewers right now. Prosecutor Carl Salcedo and Prosecutor Robert Michael Rason, Ma'am Susana Talingting, May Flores, and Ritzel Polinar.
We'd also like to acknowledge, no, he is also watching with our former regional prosecutor, former also chairman of the IACAT Once Network, Sir Antonio Arellano. Hello, sir. And we'd like also to acknowledge all the staff, prosecutors and staff of RPO 11.
Hi, kumusta na kayo dyan?
How are you? Miss you already.
Yes. And before we proceed, partner, merong nag-comment na very notable yung comment niya. This comment came from Fiscal Pratt. I suggest the drivers of taxi cabs should be alerted on anti-trafficking and to have the hotline. So tama talaga ito na the taxi cabs should also be alerted about human trafficking, and dapat yung hotline should be posted in their taxi cab unit. So for the information of everyone, the IACAT network hotline, no? IACAT 11 network hotline is 0966 711 0356. Again, 0966 711 0356. Okay, there you go. Thank you, Fiscal Pratt, for that very notable comment of yours. So, partner, art is really one of the better, if not the best, the better ways to really pull off a campaign against a certain advocacy, di ba? We have used music and maybe mural, painting. So this time, from music, we will now jump to another art form in order to further this, to increase awareness and further the campaign against trafficking in person. So just like music, photography can also be a means of capturing what is happening around the world, and can also be a powerful tool in conveying our message in the continuing campaign against trafficking in persons.
Yes, partner. So for this year, the IACAT 11 network will be launching the IACAT 11 photo essay competition. So photos na naman tayo. But
photography na naman.
Oo, photography. But what is a photo essay, partner?
Well, a photo essay or a photographic essay is a set of photographs that are intended to tell a story or evoke emotions in the viewer. So photo essays can be sequential in nature, intended to be viewed in a particular order, or they may consist of a non-ordered photographs which may be viewed all at once to reveal their character and dynamic. So it's a photo, just like when we are doing a written essay, di ba? Merong introduction, merong body, and merong conclusion. Ito naman, there will be no words but by means of photography. So the photographs will have to be arranged perhaps in a sequential order in order to evoke the emotion or to exemplify the theme that we will have for our contest. Or it will not be arranged in a sequential order but be viewed as one whole thing, still evoking the theme that we will have for the contest. So para siyang written essay, partner.
Yes, partner, and it's also crucial that all the images, whether it's only one or a group of photos, they must captivate the viewer with a singular vision and purpose. Just like when we are making an essay, dapat every word has a purpose, hindi yung kahit ano na lang. So
yes.
You have to choose the photo very well.
Correct. Diba? Pag gumagawa tayo ng written essay, all of the paragraphs should be exemplifying the topic sentence, diba?
Cohesive. Dapat cohesive.
Cohesive siya, yes. So, partner, since you have mentioned that there will be a singular vision or purpose, ano ang theme ng ating photo essay contest for WeDot 2020?
The theme for this photo essay contest is the same with our theme for this year. So para hindi tayo malito, we have, I will read again, no? It's the Lihok Comunidad human trafficking ug OSEC undangon.
So liho komunidad, human trafficking ug OSEC undangon. So the same. We'll have the same theme for the photo essay contest.
For more information, let us have them watch the video.
Okay.
So roll BTR.
Here it is. Very exciting. We're back again. We're back. So ang ganda ng teaser. Very exciting yung teaser natin, 'di ba? So we are inviting all photographers and photo enthusiasts out there to join the WIDA 2020 photo essay contest. But before we proceed, I would just like to highlight some of the mechanics that was played earlier, no? So this will be open to all residents of Region 11. Okay, and prizes are at stake. First prize. Prizes. Ang first prize is 20,000 pesos.
Oh.
Second prize will be 15,000 pesos. Third prize, 10,000 pesos. And 2 consolation prizes, 3,000 pesos. And People's Choice Award, because there will be entries that we will be posting in Facebook and we will submit that to polling. And the People's Choice Award will receive 5,000 pesos. And deadline for the submission of entries will be on October 11, 2020.
Yes.
Okay. So, partner, itong photo essay contest, hindi lang ito, they will not just be judged on the technical aspect of photography, but they will also be evaluated on how they will evoke the theme for this year, for the contest theme, partner.
Yes, the goal of the competition is to showcase the best anti-trafficking in persons campaign told through a series of still images. So the jury will be seeking the image na catch na attention and will convey the message na you have to stop human trafficking.
Yes. Kaya nga, if I'm not mistaken, all participants will be encouraged to join a short webinar for a brief orientation on what trafficking is all about, what trafficking in persons is all about, so that they would really be able to capture the theme, the advocacy, the campaign in the photos that they will be taking, and therefore they can make a very good photo essay. Okay. So,
Yes,
partner, I would like to acknowledge the IACAT National Secretariat who just tuned in for our commemoration of WIDA 2020 this afternoon. Who else, partner?
And pwede ba, I'd like to acknowledge my friends no, sa CrossFit Madayao and the Breakfast Bullies kasi kanina pa kulit ng kulit sa, sa messages. So, hi guys!
Oo, hindi lang sila health advocate, but they are also human trafficking warriors. Diba? Mga malalakas natin na mga warriors.
We'd also like to acknowledge, Yes, partner, I'd like to acknowledge din pala the community-based service section of DSWD 11.
Hi, thank you very much for tuning in. Okay.
Yes, under the supervision of Protective Service Division Chief, Miss Gemma D. De La Cruz. Yeah. Hello, guys.
So before we continue again, we'd like to invite all photographers and photo enthusiasts out there to join the photo essay contest of the IACAT 11. And for more questions, if you have questions, just type in your questions in the comment section. Just type in your name, your organization, and the question so that we can take up your questions even for the mechanics for the photo essay during the second part of our commemoration of WIDA 2020. So partner, moving on, advocating against human trafficking is a never-ending task. As long as there are traffickers, the IACAT 11 network will work tirelessly in informing the public against its evils and effects.
Earlier, partner, we showed the winning video during the video making contest. Yun yung, during the video making contest. Up next is the full version of the winning music video for last year's contest. Kasi kanina, what we showed were clips only, the 12 videos for the album. This time, we will show the full version of the winner. So, ladies and gentlemen, please put your hands together virtually for Awit ng Pag-asa.
Awit ng Pag-asa, here it is.
Imulat ang iyong mga mata, huwag hayaang ika'y mabiktima. Kailan ba magtitigil? Lumulubhang pangingikil. Rinig mo ba sa iyong paligid mga boses na sumisigaw, at ang ugong ay saklolo? Kailangan ng tulong mo. Halina't sama-sama sa awit ng pag-asa. Babangon, ahon, mabibigyan solusyon. Manalig, kumapit, sisikat rin ng araw at hilong bawat sugat at sakit. Sa pagsikat ng bagong umaga, ay magbibigay liwanag at pag-asa. Huwag kang matakot magsalita, huwag magdalawang isip na isumbong, dahil kung di ikaw ay Napansin mo ba sa iyong paligid? Sindang pusong patak ng luhay, dugo, mga pawis na nagsusumamo. Kailangan ng tulong mo. Halina't sama-sama sa awit ng pag-asa. Babangon, ahon, mabibigyan solusyon. Manalig, kumapit, sisikat rin ang araw at hilom bawat sugat at sakit. Sa pagsikat ng bag-aga, ito'y magbibigay liwanag at pag-asa. Ang tao ay may halaga, hindi ito bagay na pwede lang ibenta. Hindi rin pag-aari na sa liig pwedeng itali. Ang bawat hininga'y mahalaga. Ang bawat buhay ay pantay-pantay.
And we're back. You are tuned in. You're still tuned in live in the commemoration of WIDA 2020 and human trafficking and OSEC. And we are still streaming live at Davao City Disaster Radio Facebook page. And ladies and gentlemen, that was Awit ng Pag-asa. So, partner, ito yung magiging official OST ng Iyakat 11. Diba?
Yes.
Meron na tayong official soundtrack.
And, yes, gagawa tayo ng station ID partner.
Oo, ng official campaign video. Of course, with the expertise and indulgence of Global Impact. So thank you, Global Impact. Clap.
Yes,
galing. We would have not, Global Impact is responsible for the seamless online presentation of our WIDA commemorate. Thank you. And they are also the ones who made that very exciting teaser for our photo essay contest. So sila yung technical team behind our success. Not success. Big
Pero
word.
partner, it's like partner. Maybe this activity will also serve as an inspiration sa mga sasali naman sa photo essay. Kasi diba, tingnan mo ngayon, bidang-bida yung mga music videos, the commercials. So hopefully, in the future, if you win the photo essay contest, maybe it will be shown and also will be the
yung kanilang mga
logo.
artworks na naman, mga photographs na naman nilang i-showcase natin. Hopefully for the next, for the subsequent commemoration of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons. So partner, we cannot let this pass without acknowledging again our online viewers, live audience. We have audience from Malaysia. Sino ba ito, ma'am? Itong from Malaysia? Wala. Basta he just said he's from Malaysia. And Ate Cars from Iyakat National, she also tuned in. Sino pa po dyan, partner?
Also somebody from Binyan, Laguna.
Binyan,
From
Laguna.
Binyan, Laguna.
Okay.
God Office of Tagum City. Yun, may question daw siya. So later na yung questions.
Later. So again, post your questions on the comment section of this streaming page. You post, you type in your name, the group where you belong, and you type in your question, and we'll take all your questions during. Our technical team will collate all the questions, and we'll take them up during the second part of this of this commemoration of WIDA 2020. So partner, to officially close the first part of our WIDA celebration, let us give a virtual round of applause to the chairperson of the Advocacy Unit of Iakat Once Network, Regional Director of the Department of Interior and Local Government, Mr. Alex C. Roldan.
To the Regional Director of the Department of Justice 11, Attorney Janet Grace B. Dalisay Fabrero, to the Regional Director of the Department of Social Welfare and Development 11, Director Grace Q. Subong, fellow partners and colleagues in public service, ladies and gentlemen, a pleasant afternoon. Over the years, we aim to protect the lives of our fellow men, especially our children, from abuses and exploitations. We continue to plan and implement programs and activities to achieve a just, peaceful, and humane society. Today's celebration of the World Day Against Trafficking in Persons, with the theme, Lihok Komunidad, Human Trafficking ug Online Sexual Exploitation of Children, Undangon, calls us to firmly stand against trafficking and exploitation. We are all enjoined to influence more people to be socially responsible, especially in embracing technology and innovations. Our battle cry to stop human trafficking is also supported by an issued joint memorandum circular number 2010-01 dated October 18, 2010, entitled Creation of Local Committees on Anti-Trafficking and Violence Against Women and Their Children, or LCAT-VAUSI, which aims to provide guidance on the implementation of the Anti-Trafficking Acts 9208 and 10364 through strengthening of LCAT-VAUSI committees and monitoring their functionality. To date, all LGUs in Davao Region have functional VAUSI desks, which covers not only violence against women and children, but also cases on trafficking in persons. Ladies and gentlemen, nothing should stop us from our continued fight against the trafficking in persons and online exploitation of children, not even COVID-19, which complicates and hides the issues in gender violence and human rights abuses. All the more, we have to put an end to traffickers and abusers. Let us find a new and better ways to stop so that one day, no more child, woman, or any person become victims. Kaya nato ni, dili lang ang trafficking, online sexual exploitation of children, apil na sad ang COVID-19 pandemic. Ingon nila, compassion without action is just observation. Lihok ng tanan para sa atong kabaguhan. Dagang salamat and keep safe.
Thank you, Sir Alex, for that inspiring message. So, please,
yes,
partner?
I would like to acknowledge also a viewer from the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia. Wow, kahit saan na tayo nakarating, partner.
Yes, again.
May Saudi Arabia.
And also our colleagues from the Office of the City Prosecutor of Davao City. Hi! Kaway naman dyan.
Ano yung comment nila eh. So, everybody, please do not leave or log out just yet, as part 2 of our activity shall start in a few minutes. So, part 1 pa lang yung natapos ha. So, but before we end the part 1 and start with part 2, we will be serenaded once more with beautiful young voices. So, partner, palagi na lang young ang voices.
Yes, parating young.
Yes. So, this young, yes.
Okay, go on, partner.
Our next performers are the Ateneo Blue Band. And let us please acknowledge that the bass guitarist is the son also of our ARP Ritzel Polinar. So we have Patrick Polinar on bass.
Artistry really runs in the family, no? Painter, singer, gitarista, si Daddy Glenn is also a good singer. So, before we proceed, we are just ending the first part of our program, but another equally important part is the second part, which will be the panel discussion, and we will be taking all your questions which you have posted in the comment section, and there will be distinguished members of the panel who will take up your questions, especially on the mechanics of the photo essay, as well as the anything about the event, the commemoration of WIDA 2020. So again, keep your questions coming. Type in your name, the organization or the group where you belong, and your questions, and our technical team will again collate all your questions and it will be taken up later. So, yes, partner, we will be closing the first part with a song which I'm sure all of you are very familiar. It is a loud wish that despite this pandemic and despite the number of victims of human trafficking, we know that better days are coming. So once again, here it is, the Ateneo Blue Band.
Basta tayo'y magkasama, laging mayroong umagang kay ganda. Pagsikat ng araw, may dalang liwanag sa ating pangarap. Oh,
halika na, umikit-imutin ng problema. Hihintayin ang umaga. Magpahinga sa panaginip kay liligaya. Darating din ang umaga. Tayo'y magkasama, laging merong umaga kay ganda. Pagsikat ng araw, may dalang liwanag sa ating pangarap. Oh, haharapin natin. Simple lang, kasama ka naman. Kung ayaw nila, sa akin okay lang. Kung di mo makuha sa tingin, idaan mo sa taas. Kung ayaw pa rin, gumising na. Araw ng pag-asa'y narito na. Dumating din, haharapin natin. Basta tayo'y magkasama, laging merong umaga kay ganda. Pagsikat ng araw, may dalang liwanag sa ating pangarap. Oh,
Hi, we're back, and thank you for tuning in, for keeping it here in the 2020 World Day Against Trafficking commemoration, and Human Trafficking and OSEC. And we are still streaming live at the Davao City Disaster Radio Facebook page. Welcome to the part 2 of our celebration, of our commemoration rather, where we will be taking all the questions which you posted in the comment section. So again, for those who have not yet sent their questions, you may key in your questions, type your name, the group where you belong, then your question. So let me get this started. Joining us this afternoon as my co-facilitator is the technical team behind the camera and reason why we are all experiencing this seamless virtual presentation of our WIDA 2020 celebration. She has been, and their group has been very supportive of the IACAT 11 network endeavors. The founding director of Global Impact, Ms. Amy Moranco Gan.
Hello.
Good afternoon, Amy.
Good afternoon.
Okay. Also joining us this afternoon are our distinguished members of the panel who are chiefs of the agencies who are also members of IACAT 11 network. Ang ating mga batikang magdirigma laban sa human trafficking in persons. Let me start off with my boss, our indefatigable Regional Prosecutor Janet Grace Dalisay Fabrero. Hi, Ma'am Janet.
Hi, Ma'am. Hi, RP.
Maligayong hapon, Fiscal Pong, Fiscal May, and of course, Director Ma'am Amy. Maligayong hapon sa ating tanan and to the viewers.
Thank you, Ma'am Janet. Our next member of the panel will be...
Okay, well, sitting here right with us today, we're very privileged
that
we have Attorney Barbara May Flores, Deputy Regional Director of Department of Justice, Region 11. Attorney Flores, welcome.
Welcome.
Thank you for having me here.
Yeah.
And good afternoon, everyone, and thank you for all those who stayed, and thank you, everyone, for watching and sharing the Facebook Live of IACAT 11.
Yes.
Our next member of the panel is Kim G. Pedro from the Department of Interior and Local Government 11.
Hello everyone, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you three there and to my co-panelists. Maayong hapon na natong tanan. On behalf of the ILG 11, thank you for this opportunity to be with you.
And I have the privilege of introducing the next, but I'm going to ask you, my co-facilitator here, to correct my pronunciation if needed, okay? Carla Canarias and Gladys Credo of DSWD 11.
That is correct.
Okay.
Carla? Well, that is really...
Hello.
Okay.
Sorry.
There you go.
Good afternoon po. Mario Davao. So in behalf of our Regional Director, Riz Tisubong. So good afternoon po sa lahat.
Ma'am Gladys?
Nahipos pa siya sa mga gadgets niya.
Okay. I have also the privilege of introducing our next member of our panel, Police Captain Liza Ramirez from the Davao City Police Office. Captain, are you now here? Okay, let's just proceed to our next member.
Okay, and I get the privilege of introducing Jeanette Ampong from the Talikala Foundation, and she's the executive director and actually one of the first people I met in regards to fighting human trafficking when I came to Davao and started in this. So Jeanette, thank you for being with us today.
Maayong hapon sa tanan nga nagatanaw karon sa atong FB Live o kay Prosecutor May o kay Prosecutor Pong o kay Amy. Unta maayo o fruitful atong discussion karon hapon.
Okay, so thank you so much for joining us this afternoon. So how will this gonna be? Amy and I will be taking the questions which were posted by our live audience in the comment section, and we will direct the questions to the proper panelist or proper agency who can properly tackle the same. then perhaps if other members will have some follow-ups on the answers of the panel members, then you can do so. So this will be a very free-flowing conversation.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we want it to be casual and conversational, and we'd love for all of you that are watching as well is put in the chat where are you watching from, and please continue to send your questions.
Yes, you type in your name, type in the group where you belong, and type in your question. We will take them. Our technical team is always ready to take all your questions.
Yes.
But before we proceed, Amy, let me just ask my co-facilitator who just exude a very positive vibe. For the benefit of our live audience who just tuned in this just right now, tell us a bit of information about Global Impact. What are your thrusts? Sure. What are the efforts, your efforts that you do about human trafficking prevention? Can you please tell us?
Sure, sure. I'll direct it at our online viewers then.
Yes.
Well, first of all, it's just wonderful to be able to be the host today and that we're broadcasting live from our location in GSIS right here in Davao City. And we know that there's people that are watching from all over Davao region, the Philippines, and internationally. So thank you for being here with us. And Global Impact is a foundation here in the Philippines. We have many projects that we do, but one of our passions and one of our advocacies is to be involved in the fight against human trafficking. So many years ago, we started a campaign called Freedom Philippines. I love that name. I love the name Freedom because I believe that we all have a right to freedom in our lives. And actually, as an organization, our motto is releasing freedom and empowering potential. So in terms of the fight against human trafficking, that's one of the things that we do. And we're very privileged as well to be a part of the IACA, which is the Interagency Council Against Trafficking Region 11 network, and work with all the amazing agencies, government, and NGOs that we're all working collaboratively to fight trafficking in our region. So that's a bit about what we do. We as an organization focus on the prevention and education side and then support our other partners and agencies however we can. But we try to be on the front lines, whether if it's outside of quarantine, right? We're in the schools, we're out in the areas throughout Mindanao, we're in businesses and universities, we're doing presentations, we're bringing education in many different ways.
Yes, and I'd just like to take note that your slogan, releasing freedom, empowering potential, it sends a very strong message.
Yeah.
Very strong message.
Yeah, thank you.
Yes, and like what you've said, had it not been for this pandemic, you will be out there in the schools. But, you know, this pandemic did not stop us from continuing our efforts.
Did not.
In fact, your technology, your expertise has given us this platform to continue and commemorate the World Day Against Trafficking.
Yeah.
So,
and I think even actually more important than ever in our day and age that we have online medias to reach people, right? Because as we'll talk about later, and you talked about earlier in our program, there's so much online sexual exploitation of children and also of adults. We have to also be online taking our message. And I believe that's exactly what we're doing today.
yes, and the issue about, or the subject of online sexual exploitation of children will be discussed as we go through the panel discussion.
Right.
So let's get this started. Let's
Okay.
take our first question from
Okay.
our online audience. So there is a question that what are the different types of trafficking in persons? So I think our representative or panel member from the Department of Justice, Ma'am Janet, can take this question. Ma'am, Janet, RP Janet.
Yes, well, actually there are different types of trafficking in person. So the two major classifications are as follows. We have the sexual exploitation, which may include prostitution, pornography, or online sexual exploitation of children, and then we have labor trafficking, which would be characterized by forced labor, debt bondage, involuntary servitude, including slavery. And there are other two classifications, which notably is also increasing. We have the recruitment of child warriors and the organ trafficking. So these are mainly the types of trafficking in person that are widely recognized locally and in our country.
So thank you, Ma'am Janet. So that is true. In fact, Ma'am Janet already discussed that during her speech a while ago and during the introduction of the part one of the program. And whenever these forms of trafficking are done through by and with the use of information communication technology or with the aid of computer system, then it becomes online sexual exploitation of children if children are the subject or the ones who are exploited. Yeah. So can you take the second question, Amy?
Yeah, well, because you brought that up, actually one of our viewers online, can I go with that? That's asking, and actually I would like to direct the question to Attorney Flores here, May. Okay. So Alexandra Yap, thank you for sending your question. And she said, what is the median age of OSEC or online sexual exploitation of children victims in the Philippines?
Recently, there's a study made by the International Justice Mission, by the IACAT, and the US DOJ, Department of State. And in that study, the median age for OSEC victims in the Philippines is actually 11 years old. Yeah, that's very sad because it's a very young age to be exploited into online sexual exploitation of children.
Yeah, very sad. You know, I have a niece that's 11 years old, and so I think one thing to do to like really help us personalize this is think of a family member, you know, a child, a niece, a nephew, that you know that's around that age. And imagine, I mean, we don't want to imagine it, but I also think this is the day that we want to inspire people to do something about this. And when I think about if my niece was being exploited like that at her age.
Yeah, I agree.
Right?
Because every one of us actually has a relative or a friend who's that age. So that makes it more personal.
I want to ask you though too, but here in Davao region, as young as 1 year old has been...
True.
Yes, Ma'am Janet?
Yes.
Yes, that's correct. Well, the youngest, I think, is 1 year old, as far as the Davao region is concerned.
You know, in the advent of social media, we everything becomes so fast. But the sad thing about this development is it is accompanied with serious threats, like online sexual exploitation of children, because there are really people who will really use the cyberspace to commit crimes like this. So that is why this campaign to increase the awareness of internet users that there are these crimes, online sexual exploitation that exist in our world, okay, in the world of cyberspace. Okay. So there's another question from one of our viewers. I think this will be a follow-up question to what RP Janet have discussed a while ago about the forms of trafficking. Someone asked, Ma'am, what are the factors that lead to trafficking?
Well, there are a lot of factors that we can identify. It's sad to know that in our country, the basic, the primordial reason really is the problem of poverty. No, there being difficulty to find source of livelihood. Particularly now, since we have this pandemic, a lot of people lost their jobs, and then the easiest way to fall into this prey is really to either go into prostitution because it does not need any qualification as far as the employment is concerned. And then as far as parents are concerned, it's very sad to note, in 2017, the Philippines has been dubbed as the epicenter for sex trade, live streaming and sex trade, and that we're also identified as the highest number of child pornography. Now, I believe that even in some culture, it's the parents themselves that actually lure or entice their children to go into this online sexual exploitation thing, no? Because primarily it's because of the lack of source of livelihood. And then other factors which I also have noticed, this peer influence, this peer factor, where there is always the tendency to really achieve that source of that financial standing or source, envy, jealousy as far as children are concerned. They wanted to get things easily. That's why they go into into this OSEC thing because it is so secret. It is some parents would even say it's safer than the actual prostitution because here you do not need to engage in the sexual thing. You just have to show your body in front of the web. No? So there are many factors like including lack of education, also lack of awareness of what trafficking is, which is still a continuing problem, and also lack of opportunity, especially on those areas where have been devastated by calamities, like those that have been devastated by the Typhoon Pablo, and then Yolanda, and even the earthquake in Davao del Sur and Davao Occidental. These are some of the factors that I could identify at the moment.
Okay.
Maybe some.
On that note, ma'am, RP, how many cases have been filed so far? Do you have do you have the numbers?
Yeah, actually, I prepared for it. No, I'm sure it would be requested. No? So we have my record indicates both the national and the regional statistics. No? As far as the IACAT is concerned, the IACAT main, from 2003 to 2020, June 2020, we have a total of 344 cases filed. And in our region, we have about 159 cases already filed from 2011. So our documentation in Region 11 only started in 2011. So we have about 159 cases. And at the moment, we only have 57. We all have, 57 active cases.
Out of these cases, Ma'am Janet, what are the commonly filed tip cases that are usually filed in our region?
Very important question. So if you have noticed, what tops these particular cases would be the sexual trafficking and exploitation. Of course, followed by prostitution. We have notable increase of cases in cybersex or OSEC cases as well. And then we also handle in the region labor trafficking cases. And we have 2 documented child soldier cases on trafficking. Now, the same trend, as far as the national data is concerned, still tops the PIP cases, is the sexual trafficking and prostitution. And then we have number of cases also on labor trafficking.
Yes, thank you. I wonder, since we are in the time of pandemic, has the OSEC cases significantly increased, or has it affected the numbers?
Based on the report, they said that there's an increase in the reported OSEC cases in the Philippines. But in Davao region, we have not received any report, or we have not filed any cases involving OSEC during the pandemic. But it does not really mean that no abuse is happening currently. No report doesn't mean no abuse. Na. It just means that we don't have any reports yet. Maybe there are a lot of factors that we could consider why no reports are being received. Maybe because of lack of mobility, because of the quarantine. Yeah.
I think that's a really good point. Is that it's most likely. I mean, it's most likely worse, just because it's not being reported. Because if we understand, when movements of people, and especially if we're talking children, they're not in school, right? They're not interacting with other people like they normally would. And I know from the United States perspective, I was listening to this, that they know abuse cases have gone up, but there's less reporting, all types of abuse. Why? Because children are not around other people because of they're at home. So if you can imagine, if there's already any form of abuse, whether it's sexual or something else, it's already taking place, and then you add all the pressures of pandemic, the pressures of quarantine, and less reporting. I mean, unfortunately, I would think that it's most likely worse. It's worsened it. And that's not great news, but it's definitely something would not only be an issue here in the Philippines, but internationally as well. I know it's a big topic in the United States right now, in decisions in children going back to school or not, because when they're in school, at least they're around caretakers and teachers who are looking out and can hopefully identify abused children.
Yes,
That's correct. That's correct.
Yeah.
I agree. Yeah.
But I would just like to, I don't want to leave this hanging, no. Since Ma'am Janet already discussed the incidents, the statistics of the, what are the tip cases filed for the entire country, how many of this number, ma'am, are convictions?
Well, as far as my record would disclose, no, you see, I have to identify it clearly. So because we might be misunderstood, because if we classify cases as far as conviction is concerned, we also have to look at the success rate by looking at the acquittal. The conviction rate for the region is we have 42 cases, and then we have acquittal of 5 cases. No? In the national, our conviction rate is 69%. No? RTC cases, where we got conviction, we have 558 cases. And then from the CA, we got 2. Now, as far as acquittal, however, in the national level, we have 31%. So, at least we are happy to know that we have a very good rate of conviction rate as against the acquittal rate. No? Of course, we cannot avoid certain factors like provisional dismissal of cases, archive of cases, in cases where we cannot arrest the accused, no, of the PIP cases we file.
So 69% is a good number, at least.
Yes,
yeah. It's a good number. I'd just like to take off from what was said earlier, that the incidence of OSEC during the pandemic is quite. We cannot gauge the incidence because there are less reports during the time of the pandemic. Now, I would like to ask the people from the representative from PNP or perhaps the DSWD of how many incidents of OSEC cases were reported during the COVID-19 pandemic, during the quarantine period. Who can take this, PNP or DSWD? Carla?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Good afternoon, ma'am, and good afternoon also to the viewers. So, for the PNP, so far, we have not yet received reported incident of related to trafficking, sir. But based on our record, we have recorded last February and March for this year. So, we have total of 2 cases.
2 cases, what nature? Is this OSEC? Or,
yeah, trafficking, sir.
What form of trafficking, ma'am?
Sexual trafficking.
Sexual trafficking.
Sexual abuse.
How about from the DSWD?
For the DSWD, we did not receive specific PIP cases for OSET, but we received PIP cases for trafficking. So we recorded 3 cases of trafficking for sexual exploitation during the pandemic. But aside from that, we received actually we already referred it at the PNP kasi parang nag-iba yung, because of this pandemic, and then yung mga tao kasi may limitations of mobility. So parang naging ginamit nila for transactions for prostitution is through online. So we received 2 cases, actually 2 Facebook page using online prostitution na doon ginagawa sa online. Yun yung receive namin for this quarter, for this semestral.
So FB din itong itong reported case sa DSW. You know, this is really the boon and bane of the internet, of the social media, right? It is because of the advent of social media, we can have faster communication,
Yeah, right.
but at the same time, the cyberspace is also a very dangerous space for children. Right, so we've been talking about online sexual exploitation of children. What really is OSEC? What really is online sexual exploitation of children? Can the panelists enlighten our online viewers on what really is the online exploitation of children? Ma'am Janet?
Okay. So this is actually a highly innovative way of committing trafficking in persons. As you can see, sexual abusers engage, of course, sexual exploitation of children behind closed doors and the use of webcams or in front of webcams. So what is sad to note is that the victims here are particularly children. So let's go back to the basic of trafficking, how trafficking in person is committed. Now, all the ingredients or the elements of the crime should be present, like the acts. Okay, it should also, when we talk about the acts, it's actually the manner of recruiting children, no? And whether or not the means would be present, but although there are noted data that will show that some children were actually compelled to using threat or force to engage into pornography online. And then the very purpose here is, of course, to commit pornography, no? Which is in the use of internet. No? So as you can see in our country, access to internet is cheap and it's very easy. Now, and it is not, the regulation is, of course, not yet that strong. And children are really vulnerable to go into online and be prey of this OSEC, no? And then it is also sad to note that I think I read one of the data from the UNICEF that in the Philippines, 1 out of 5 children could be a vulnerable prey to OSEC.
Yes.
Wow. That's
It's a lot.
1 out of 5. 1 out of 5.
Sad, very sad and
Very sad.
depressing.
I want to ask someone, I think I'll direct it at Jeanette from Talikala. Did I say it right? There's this concept, and you brought it up earlier, about no touch, no harm.
Yes.
Right? Like there's this idea that, and I want to speak to anybody that happens to be watching right now and might think, oh yeah, it's okay. My child's okay because somebody's just watching, nobody's touching. But Jeanette, what would be your viewpoint on that and your thoughts and your message?
For us, the use of children in the virtual platform is considered still as sexual exploitation, because even if there's no touch, but the mere sight of a girl or a boy who are nude or in a sexual position is considered exploitation of children. It is therefore the same harm is inflicted to the child versus face-to-face. No? So it is still the same. The effect is still the same. In fact, having the child pose before the webcam is more damaging than the face-to-face, because the picture of the child will last long even if she grow older. Even if she became old, the picture is still can be accessed through the internet. So the same harm for face-to-face exploitation of children and the virtual platform. So it's still no ifs, no buts, that there's no harm.
Yeah. I just have to say that I also, some of my background is like a ministry, debriefing, counseling background that I do and help people, and especially when they're adults, right? And most of the time, we have this idea, we say, oh, children are resilient. They can handle anything. Like, oh, it's okay, they can get through it. But the thing that I see over and over again, especially working with people as adults, most of their issue, their pain, their trauma, it goes back to when they're children. And so we
Yes,
cannot say, oh, children are resilient, they're okay, no touch, no harm. Right? It's what's being happened to a child is they're being programmed, they're developing their views about themselves, how they see themselves, how they see the world, and really anything sexual is not for a child. They're just not at that age. And so we really want to get that message across that is in, and we have to protect our children and our nieces and our nephews and wherever it is, because this is not an okay thing that's happening at all. I'm kind of passionate about it, but that's what today is about, isn't it?
So my next question, just a follow-up question on what was already discussed. Taking off from your point, what then is the effect mentally or psychologically of trafficking in persons cases or OSEC cases to the children? What is the psychological effect or mental effect of these cases to the victims themselves, to the children?
Based on our experience in handling girls, because we are particularly handling girls who are trafficked and in prostitution, basically these girls have very low self-esteem, and they also have trust issue on adults, because it can be understood that most of the people who use them sexually are adults. They are in denial that it's not happening to me. That is why when they talk about the experience, they tend to talk in third person, like my friend, because it's very painful of blurting out that it's the children or the child who is speaking who experienced that trauma. They tend to isolate themselves from other children, and they are ashamed, and they look at themselves as dirty. So they don't tend to socialize in school, and they perform low in the academic when they are in school. So a lot of debriefing, a lot of processing have to be done in order to bring out the goodness of the child. And we cannot define when what will happen, but part also of the effect of being trafficked is they look at it as being normal to other children. So they have the tendency to recruit other children to be trafficked. So that's the most difficult part of the work of Tarikada. How would you let a child of 14 years old understand that what she's doing is a violation of the rights of the child when she herself is a victim? So that is why when we handle trafficking of girls or children, it takes a multifaceted approach. It's not only about economic, it's not only about psychosocial, but a lot of dimensions to bring the child to who she is before trafficking. And sometimes we cannot see it in our lifetime. When I look at some of the victims.
Thank you.
Yes.
Okay.
There's I just want to bounce off of that and also say hello to Holy Bee. She's one of our viewers that's watching, I know, from Manila. And she makes a good point that she says here, because when abused children are separated from even predator parents, even though the parent is the one, they should be separated, but that causes even further trauma because children then have to be separated from their parent, even though the parent or the relative is the one abusing. So I just wanted to say that's another point and another issue. There's so many dynamics to this issue, and thank you, Holy Bee, for putting that in there in the comments.
And every time we see that scene in court, it will really break your heart.
I bet. I don't know how you guys do it.
Yeah, you present the child, and you know that the mother, whom the child has not seen for a very long time, is present in court, but you cannot let your witness, who is the child, to be anywhere near the mother, because the mother is the perpetrator. I mean, that scene alone just breaks your heart.
Yeah, that's trauma upon trauma upon trauma, isn't it?
Correct. That is correct.
That also, if I may add, it's also a dilemma on the part of the prosecution, like giving justice, but at the same time, making sure that you don't re-traumatize the child from breaking apart a family, especially in OSEC cases, because in OSEC cases, really most of the perpetrators or relatives or parents. So it really is a dilemma for the prosecutors on how to do the presentation of evidence. And also another dilemmatic, as mentioned by Ma'am Janet of Talikala, is when the victim herself becomes the perpetrator. So it's also a dilemma on the part of the law enforcers and the prosecutors. Are we going to include her in the case, or are we just going to consider her a victim even if she's the one who's actively recruiting some other children? So those are really some dilemmas that the prosecutors and also the law enforcers are facing.
And how do you answer after you present the child, and the child knows that her mother or his mother is in the gallery? He will ask you, pwede na nako makita si mama? Or can I see my mother? Because the child thinks that he's already done with his duty, and he's now free to see his mother or father or relative.
What happens then, though? What happens afterwards? What happens to the children?
I think they're still in the custody of DSWD.
Yes.
Yes.
I think it's more of a call of the DSWD, really, if it's already safe for the child to communicate with the parent who is at the same time a perpetrator.
Well, this was another question that was brought up by Holy Bee. She was asking what happens to the abuser. So in that case, maybe we should direct that to DSWD, like in terms of working with the abuser and the children, and what are some of the factors and decisions that are made, whether to reunite the family or keep the children separate.
They are the psychosocial arm of all this setup. So may we hear from the DSWD?
No, so so the question is, what will happen or what is the approach for the abuser? Is that the question?
Yeah, the question is what happens with the abuser, and then how, like, basically how do you make decision whether a child can be reunited with the family if it's an abuser, is safe, or the child needs to have other housing and accommodation away from their family?
Actually, if the abuser is the parents, the first thing that we do is to separate the child from the perpetrators, and then the child will go into the protective custody under the DSWD, wherein the child will undergo psychosocial intervention to process his or her traumas, and then after that, we will send a request for a PCAR, parents capability assessment report from the local partners natin, from the local CSWDO, and then if the PCAR is favorable to bring the child back to his family, that's the time that we will do again a exit conference, talk with the parents, and then recommendations. But after that, we will still we do follow-up activities, monitoring with the family and the child in partnership with or in close coordination with the local social workers. So that's what we do. So we really have to assess first if the parents is really capable, try to bring the child back to his family.
Carla, just a follow-up question. In your profile, what is the average age of the usual victims of online sexual exploitation of children? Ages, it ranges from what age to what age?
Actually, we only have one, and then the one to we have 35, the oldest. And then last year we were able to rescue a 4-year-old boy who was a victim of OSEC or online sexual exploitation. So but most of the traffic persons that we catered or avail services of the DSW, it's 50% of these are children.
Okay. There is also another question that was posted in the comment section. What are the activities that is being done by the local government units in order to make the public aware about the trafficking in campaign against trafficking in persons or cases against trafficking in persons. I think Ma'am Kim from the ALG can take this question.
Before I would answer the question, I just would like to go back to that point where we pointed out that there's an increase in reported cases of DIP. On a positive note, we also would like to consider that this is because of our efforts in information dissemination in the campaign we have conducted. These are results of our efforts. So on the part of the ILG and the LGUs, activities conducted, of course, there is a continuing information dissemination campaign always, especially during barangay assemblies and other activities in the barangay where people flock for the meetings. Our barangay officials, our LGU officials and employees who are in charge of these efforts. They conduct information campaigns. We have posters, we have flyers and brochures distributed. Of course, capability development and other trainings are being conducted, especially before this COVID-19 crisis has happened. Now, we are maximizing the use of technology, especially Facebook and other social media. We also have some LGUs have regular programs in radio and TV for this effort. So I would say that not only LGUs, but all government agencies have exerted so much effort in order to advocate and to inform people that we have a problem with trafficking, not only in the Philippines, not only in the region, but of course globally.
Okay. So just a quick follow-up, ma'am. If any barangay would want would like to have a capacity building seminar for their own barangay, where do they go? Who will they get in touch with?
They can get in touch. We have DILG officers in all LGUs, so they can coordinate with our DILG officer. They can also go to the respective PNP stations or the DSWD officers in the LGU. But should they go to DILG, our DILG officers can coordinate for them, or some DILG officers are even technically capable to conduct a training or a seminar for that matter, or if not, pwedeng siya din ang mag-coordinate with us in the IAC 11 network para makakandak ng CapDev for them.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. So, aside from this, earlier we have launched our photo essay contest. So, I think we have questions from our audience about the photo essay contest, about who can join the contest. Are we allowed to submit edited photos, or can a group, or is this contest open to a group entry or just an individual entry? So who can take this question?
I think you're the perfect person to answer.
Okay, thanks, Pong, for the questions. Well, who can join? Any residents of Region 11. No? Somebody asked, I think yesterday asked if somebody outside Region 11 can join. Unfortunately, no, because this is a Region 11 activity, so we are limiting the participants to residents of Region 11. As to the questions as to what kind of editing, well, basic editing is allowed. When I say basic editing, this is like you can change the saturation or the brightness or a little dodge and burn probably. But you are not allowed to do advanced editing, as this is actually usual in every photo contest. So when we say advanced editing, this refers to like using HD, high definition resolution kind of editing, or when you manipulate the photos by adding an element or removing an element like cloning, etc. So these kinds of editing are not allowed, and your entry might be disqualified or will be disqualified if it is shown that you used advanced editing. And can a group submit? Yes, a group can submit, but they can only submit one entry for the group.
How about amateur and professional photographers? Is there any criteria on that?
No criteria, same criteria for both professional and hobbyist and amateur photographers, because really when you can see the photos of hobbyists, they're not professionals, but the photos look very professional, or sometimes like more professional looking. So they are on equal footing. So we won't be providing different criteria for both groups.
Yeah. So we really want to invite all the residents of Region 11 really participate in this. I believe it's really a way, I'm so glad that every year we as IACAT 11 put together some type of campaign. So last year it was music, and there's the album, right?
Yes.
And so this year is the photo essay. And it's just a wonderful way for many of us to get involved.
Correct. And they will be judged not just on the technical side of photography, but also on how they were able to convey the theme. So trafficking is also very technical. So how will the participants be informed or get oriented about trafficking?
Okay. The IACAT ONCE will also hold a webinar on trafficking, and it will be open to the public. And we will announce the schedule soon on the IACAT ONCE FB page, and also a recorded lecture about human trafficking that they can view anytime. We will also post that at the IACAT ONCE page, so that when they make their photo essay entries, they have an idea what is human trafficking, because that is really the most important aspect of the contest. They must be able to convey what human trafficking is, or how the community can be involved in the fight against human trafficking. So they really have to have an idea about human trafficking. So this is a good advocacy activity, because not only
it's spreading the message.
Yeah, because you are
more
actually,
people are understanding.
Yes. You are teaching them
Yes.
and making them aware what human trafficking is.
Yes. Yeah. And can we ask our viewers and watchers, please, viewers and watchers. I think that's the same group of people. Their viewers. Please invite other people to be a part of this. It really, being a voice is one of the ways that we make a dent into this issue, right? By one person telling another and another, and this is in a very a positive way, like learn about human trafficking and submit your photos. So please help us be a voice and invite others to be a part of the essay, the photo essay.
Where can they access the application, the entry forms, the mechanics, if they want to read more on the mechanics?
The complete mechanics of the contest and the guidelines will be posted also in the IACAT ONCE FB page, Facebook page. So we invite the listeners and the viewers to visit the page.
And distinction on that, right? The official name is IACAT ONCE page.
Yes, the page, so make sure not the account.
Page in there. IACAT ONCE page.
Yeah. IACAT 11 page.
ONCE Facebook page.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you for that, May.
Thank
so
you,
I
Paul.
think we don't have much time but we can, as much as we want, we can discuss about trafficking the whole day, but
we could keep going,
we don't have the whole day.
No.
So I guess at this juncture, may we ask our panelists for some parting shots for this celebration of the World Day Against Trafficking for 2020. I'm sorry, for the observance of World Day Against Trafficking
We're not
for
celebrating
2020.
our way.
Yes, I'm sorry for that.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
So may we start off with Ma'am Janet for your parting shot? Ma'am, can you please unmute Ma'am Janet?
Okay, first and foremost, maybe it's better that I would like to convey my message in our native tongue. Akong gina-encourage ang tanan na suportahan ang atong laban, ang atong pag-undang nato sa OSEC o sa trafficking. Ay tungod mauni siya ang hinungdan, dili yun mo uswag ang atong nasod as long as naa ang mga biktima, naa ang mga traffickers, naa sila diha o ready sila at anytime mga i-affect ang atong mga kinabuhi. So I encourage everybody to please join us in our fight against human trafficking and against OSEC. Thank you at malipayong hapon usab sa inyong tanan.
Okay, Ma'am Kim.
Again, good afternoon, and on behalf of the ILG, daghang salamat for this opportunity, and we reiterate that we should all seriously and aggressively work together for the elimination of trafficking in persons and advocate that there will be more defenders and more protectors of our victims. And together, let us all shout that Filipinos are not for sale.
That's right.
That's right.
Good, I like that.
Carla?
I will use the theme for this year's, for my working message. We hope komunidad, human trafficking o OSEC ang damon because we cannot do it without you. So we need you to help us stop this human trafficking and OSEC. Thank you. Ngayong hapon.
Thank you for that, Carla. Captain Ramirez? Captain?
Hello, sir. Good afternoon. Okay, in behalf of the PNP, Police Regional Office 11, the police are working 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. So, the pandemic is not the reason not to report any violence against women and their children, especially trafficking. So, we have also the e-report Facebook page. So we have our respective Facebook. So we will entertain just in case the reason they cannot go out because of without access to travel. So we are the one we will receive through video complaint, and if we need, the police will go to their respective areas. We will do. And we have also our hotline, so you can share also. We have posted in our Facebook. And we have also our project of our our regional director, Police Brigadier General Pelmore Escobar, that we have members of the PNP in the respective, especially in far-flung areas. We have the police also, not only limited to other but they are all in one to respond any cases of violence against women. And thank you.
Thank you. And of course, May?
Sorry.
Ma'am Janet. Sorry, Ma'am Janet from Talikala.
Kasama sa atong tema karon na atong migo komunidad, trafficking o sa undangon. Ginaauhang na to ang publiko nga mo apil ta mo salmot mo pinaagi sa pag-report kung dunay na mapikdan or magpasabot sa mga silingan. Kung dili sa atong kampanya unta mabutang nato ang boses sa mga na-traffic. Kinahanglan na ito magdungog po dilang tingog dili sa isura ng trafficking o usay para makapalambo pa sa ito ang mga ginahimo nga advokasya. So maayong hapon o daghang salamat.
And of course, May.
Thank you po. Of course, we would like to thank everyone who made this possible, all the stakeholders who made the event possible. This is the first ever virtual event of IACAT 11. So, and it looks seamless. It looks really good. Yeah. We have very good MCs earlier.
Good job to us, right? Good job to us.
So, congratulations to everyone who made this possible. And for all the listeners and the viewers, please continue supporting our anti-human trafficking activities. As I've always said, the fight never stops until everyone is free. Good afternoon.
Of course, like what you've said, hats off to Global Impact for making all this possible.
Yeah,
thank you.
Hats off. So,
and to our media team. Just
yes,
yes,
our technical team.
Yeah.
So, any words for our live audience?
I have so many words, but I better hold them back.
Maximum of 50.
Yeah, 50. Okay, 1, 2. I have so many things, but I just want to say thank you to everybody. I think also a heartfelt thanks to all of the agencies, the NGOs, the government, departments. I have to give a plug for Region 11, okay, that I think that there's so much collaboration and so much will that I've, been a part of the meetings and so many things that I just love the effort and the heart that I see. It's not just a job, like among many people. So that includes every DOJ, DSWD, DILG, the police, so many that I've met. And I just want to say, I think that's amazing, and I feel like it's a privilege that we can be a part. And we also just want the broader community to be a part of the fight. We really need everybody. Everybody needs to know. Everybody needs to be a voice. And it's not just, it's not just wait for somebody else to do something, but let's all take our responsibility. So that's what today is about, the World Day Against Trafficking, and the world being aware of what's going on, and all of us doing what we need to do to stop this.
You could have not said it any better. So I guess the only job left for me is to wrap up the show. So I would like to thank Amy. It's been a privilege to sit with you in this.
Let's do it again.
We can.
Okay.
Yes.
Let's do it again.
And of course, we'd like to thank all our distinguished panel who took up all the questions from our online viewers. And thank you, May. Thank you to Global Impact once again. So every good thing must come to an end, but the reason for our commemoration of the World Day Against Trafficking is a continuing effort. We as citizens of this world should not be a waste of space. Tayo pong lahat ay makilahok, makiisa at makialam upang sugpuin ang trafficking in persons. Let us together end human trafficking and OSEC. I will leave you with the words from Martin Luther King. Our lives begin to end the day we become silent about things that matter. Thank you and good afternoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Everyone, may we ask everyone to log in to our Zoom account for our photo ops for posterity's sake, because this is very momentous. We have to document this.
Correct.
Good.
Thank you.
You're awesome. Very good.
Congrats, everyone! Congrats!
Congratulations!
Congrats!
Thank you.
So, good luck na.
Okay na?
Meron.
O, dos.